up everybody, I am FUTUREIDIOT and I'm back! I am back with a vengeance, with power, He-Man, power of the universe. I have returned. I do apologise for not being here last week. I was dead. I was literally like dying. I almost died. Definitely it happened, I think. And I just felt really crummy and it was in my nose. Still, you're gonna maybe hear it a little bit. I'm still in my nose a little bit. But I'm good. I'm alive. I'm like 80% there. So I'm good. So I can make a video this week. So anyway, I thought I'm back now. Did I mention that I'm back? And this week I thought I would take a look at a PlayStation 1 game. A couple of weeks ago I did Crash Bandicoot 3, which I'm pretty sure every single fucking person that I speak to says that Crash Bandicoot 3 is the best one. I beg to differ. I don't know why. I prefer Crash Bandicoot 2, which is what we're going to be looking at in a minute. I don't know why. I think I need to sit down and talk to you about my feelings on the matter. Nothing wrong with Crash Bandicoot 3, man. Nothing wrong with it at all. It is possibly one of the greatest PlayStation 1 games ever. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, I just want to let you know, because I don't know if I uploaded a small video from my phone when I was feeling like shit in like my pajamas and there. Telling you that there wouldn't be a video last week, and also in that video, if you didn't see it, well, I announced that I'm going to do a little mini-series on Christmas week. I'm going to do a video every single day that week, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday leading up to Christmas. I'm going to do a Christmas, not a Christmas themed video. I'm just going to get a video out every day, just as a little Christmas present, and thank you for you guys being amazing for all the time I've had the channel the last couple of months. So there won't be a video like Christmas Day or Boxing Day because I'm going to be too drunk, and you guys are going to be too drunk. I imagine if you don't drink, you're going to be too full from all the turkeys and the vegetables that you're consuming, putting in your mouth and then shooting at your butt at high speed. So anyway, without further ado, that's going to be the 4 days of Christmas. I can start next Monday, and they're all going to be games that I got for Christmas when I was a wee boy back in the 90s. But without further ado, Crash Bandicoot 2, right? One thing I really like about the Crash Bandicoot series as a whole is each game literally it's a continuation from the last. So you can see at the beginning of this, you can be to another cutscene and continue on from Crash Bandicoot 1, which I really like. It establishes a really nice familiarity to the players. This is Crash, there's Neo Cortex, which is also apparent in the first level, which isn't really a first level. It continues on from the cutscene. It's very fluid, and it's sort of just a really brief reminder about the controls, the boxes, how everything works, the camera and all that kind of stuff. And I really like that. It's kind of like, oh, you've played Crash Bandicoot before, but you might have not played it for a year or so. So here's just a little brief warm-up before we get started. You're then, as Crash as a player, then snatched from this world, and you're taken to a strange warp room where a massive, ugly hologram of Neo Cortex appears and tells you that he's still alive and he needs crystals and he's fucking with you basically. So what other choice do you have but to go and grab the crystals, and then you're in the game, no fucking about. So you get like a very short little cutscene at the beginning, a little reminder course, and then you get your mission goal, which is essentially to collect 25 crystals, that's the premise of the game. 25 crystals, we all know it. It's a very simple formula for Crash. But this time you have lots of new environments to play around with, new enemies, new obstacles, and it's all a lot better than Crash Bandicoot 1. I haven't actually reviewed Crash Bandicoot 1 because as a game it is really good. I like Crash. Crash always handles the same. There's the same sort of stuff, the same sort of formula, but I just feel like Crash Bandicoot 2 is more refined, and like I said at the beginning, there's absolutely nothing at all wrong with Crash Bandicoot 3. It's just, I guess this is probably one of the first, I think this was probably the first Crash that I played personally. I would have played Crash Bandicoot 2 first, then 3, then 1, so it was sort of a weird transition between the three. Obviously if you played 1, 2, then 3, you would see the slow progression of how the developers, Naughty Dog at the time, got what they found, played the game, had it released, listened to the fan response, and just changed it and crafted it into a way that made it just a better game overall for the players. And I really like that. I think it's a thing that's gone out of favour in these days, developers listening to the fans. I think it's a bit of a far cry back to the 90s, but as far as Crash Bandicoot goes, it's very good. The levels are very well designed.
overall it is just very fantastic. It has a fantastic difficulty curve. It starts off, as you would expect, very easy, then over time, in a very short space of time, I add, and it gets very difficult very quickly. So even as me, a 22-year-old, playing a game I played when I was probably like 7 or 8, I probably still struggled with it now just as much as I did back then, which I think is great. That it means it never gets old. It's got some really good replayability because of the really good difficulty level, because it's not too easy, it's not too hard, it's somewhere just perfectly in the middle, which is awesome. Coming on to stuff like the boss fights, for example, I think the boss fights are probably worse in this game, personally, I would say. I think Crash Bandicoot 3 bosses were a lot better, but on the other hand, I would say they're better than Crash Bandicoot 1 bosses, because obviously they come at the end of each stage, so you would expect some degree of challenge, which these bosses just don't really do, really. I mean, Ripperoo has some bullshit moves on him, which makes him a bit more difficult, but that's more of a memory game more than anything else, so I would have quite like to see a bit more challenge at the end of each stage, because some of the in-game levels are actually harder than the bosses, which I'm not sure is how it should be. I think it should be sort of, if you struggle for the levels, then you struggle with the boss a little bit. Maybe it was to just appeal to a wider audience and not make the bosses too hard, but personally I would have liked more challenge from the bosses. But I don't think it's anything really to dwell on. I think it's a small detail in a huge game. Because this game will take you a good couple, like 3-4 hours to complete. It's not one you can just smash out very quickly. So the time, the level design, the music, and it's all together, I think it's a really solid game. It's definitely one of my favourite PlayStation 1 titles, hands down. Probably just for the polar bear race, to be honest. That's probably the best part about the whole game. It's fucking polar bears, man. It's probably the best part about this whole game. If it's a race section of the Crash Bandicoot game, it's probably worth talking about. And obviously after this game released, the critical response was very good, and obviously Naughty Dog then went on to make Crash Bandicoot 3, which is probably the revered favourite of the series. Personally, this is my favourite, and I think it is absolutely fantastic. I love you, Crash, man.
And there we have it. That was Crash Bandicoot 2 for the PlayStation 1. Another fantastic timeless game. Old Crash, our buddy Crash. Now, that was great. And I'm really sorry if you were listening to that with headphones, because you could probably hear the inner workings of my nose going, which no one wants to hear, really, do you? You want to hear that? If you do want to hear that, leave a comment and I'll just do a video of me just for 5 minutes, just straight. Fuck knows what I'm talking about now. But anyway, I will see you guys next Monday. I will see you guys next Monday, not next Wednesday, because obviously 4 days of Christmas. I put a fucking ton of effort, and I'm still putting a ton of effort into making them videos, because with the time scale that because I still have to go to work, like actual work, which is shit, and I work in retail as well, so it's even worse. So we're not talking about that because that's not the time or the place, but I've been working like every day over Christmas, so I'm sort of starting to do the videos now, and I'm still doing them, and I'm pouring a fuck ton of effort into them to make sure they're awesome and not shit quality, and they still have good well, I hope good content. So but you guys could be the judge of that, I guess. And yeah, and I'll see you on Monday. Goodbye. So basically, Crash is he's an arse. He's full of you're gonna be full of vegetables. That sounds like someone's put carrots up your butt. Enjoy it when it comes out. For 2, that was Crash 2. That was Crash 2. I'm putting a lot of effort. Every week I scratch my nose, and it's so annoying. For the PlayStation, no, yes, no. Oh fucking I was in the grave, and I just thought that would be a cool thing to do. Oh shit, that's the camera.